All right, guys, I'm back, and I got four hot batter versus pitcher matchups that I absolutely love to put into towards player props for April 15th. But before we get into it, let's recap yesterday. All right, let's recap the scorecard, how I did yesterday at selecting players. I had Altuve, Ozuna, Garcia, and Alvarez as plays, and I also had Muncy and Real Muto as like just missed the cut, kind of like leans or whatever. If you were to play all of them, or 5 out of 6 recorded a hit. If you were to play all of them, the over 1.5 bases or total bases, we would have been a slight profit. And if you would have played each one for a home run, we would have been really well off. Altuve, 2 home runs and 3 hits, 9 total bases. Ozuna smacks one out of the yard also. 3 hits, 7 total bases. As you remember yesterday, Ozuna, he had that 43.7% home run to fly ball ratio. He's really amazing. Going up against Luzardo, I think it was Luzardo, 40% home run to fly ball ratio. I'm like, that kind of seems like could be a great home run play, and it turned out it was. Garcia got a hit. Alvarez, unfortunately, did not get a hit, but it wasn't because of him playing poorly. He had essentially one at bat, and those pitches were horrible. And then they proceeded to, the next 2 times he was up, basically intentional walk him. And then in the 8th inning, they just pinched hit for him. So he had no real chance. Unbelievable. I think they realized that, I don't know. He had a 17 at bat history, 11 hits off those 17 at bats and like 3 home runs off that pitcher. The pitcher basically was saying, I'm not giving you anything today. So we were just a victim of, they just had a game plan of saying, F you, you're not going to hit the ball. Muncy, home run, and Real Muto got a hit. So there you go, the scorecard. Pretty decent. If you didn't use Alvarez like I did in a parlay, when am I going to learn, man? Just play the over 1.5 total bases, for freaking sakes. All right, let's get right to the 4 hot batter versus pitcher matchups I absolutely love. All right, guys, first matchup is Jose Altuve and Darius Vines. Now, I use Ballpark Pal to identify the best hitter versus pitcher matchups, and they have this one as the worst 5th percentile of any matchup Darius Vines could be facing by way of Jose Altuve. They have this as an extreme advantage Altuve, and when you look at the battle between these two, there never has been one. There's no at-bats, okay? So this is a new matchup, but when you look at Altuve, he has a barrel rate of 11.3%, which is in the good range. His ISO rate is in the excellent range at 34.8%. And that's why yesterday he was able to hit 2 home runs because he has the power. And when you look at Altuve, he's one of the most consistent hitters all season. Recorded at least 1 hit in 15 of his last 17 games. Consider Jose Altuve. All right, next matchup, same pitcher, different player, Yordan Alvarez versus Darius Vines. Ballpark Pal has this as the worst 1 percentile of any matchup that Vines could be playing. They have this labeled as an extreme advantage, and there's no history between the batter versus pitcher. Barrel rate for Alvarez is the 17 percentile, which, again, like I said, barrel rate is the is how well you hit the ball, or how well you hit the barrel of the bat when you make contact with the ball. And if you have success doing that, you're going to have a lot of success recording hits. In terms of how well of a hit, is it going to be a double, triple, or a home run? That is determinant on ISO rate, which measures power. And when you look at Yordan Alvarez's power, it's surprising to see that it's only 17.9%, which is in the good range, not the excellent range. But it's good enough for me. So when you look at Alvarez, he's got a hit in 8 of his last 12 games. But recently, just 1 in his last 4. And like I said, 2 of them I recall where he was walked twice in back-to-back games. So what does that mean for this at bat or this matchup? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to touch this one, but it is a matchup. Like I said, one of the cream of the crop matchups of the day. I just don't know if I have the stomach to take him again. We'll see. All right, the third matchup is Juan Soto versus Chris Bassitt. And Ballpark Pal has this as the worst 1 percentile of any matchup possible for Chris Bassitt by way of Juan Soto. Extreme advantage for Soto in this matchup. When you look at the historical performance, 7 at-bats, 2 hits, no home runs. His barrel rate's at 12.5, Soto's is, which is in the good range, and his ISO rate is at 20%, which is also in that good range. He's hit at least 1 hit in 12 of his last 16 games. Consider Juan Soto. All right, guys, the fourth and final matchup, hot batter versus pitcher matchup that I think has a great opportunity for us to cash some player props, offensive player props, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. versus Gil. Worst 1 percentile of possible matchups for Gil is Guerrero Jr. An extreme advantage. Ballpark Pal has this as, and the short history that these two have battled, just 4 at-bats, but 2 hits by Guerrero. Looking at Guerrero's barrel rate, it's in the good range at 11.1%. The ISO rate's in the good range at 21.2%. And Guerrero has a hit, at least 1 hit in 10 of his last 16 games. There you go. 4 hot batter options to either play a parlay to record a hit, over 1.5 total bases in the last 3 or 4 or 5 days, or if I can remember off the top of my head, at least 3 of them would have been profitable. The last 2 were just slight profits, but yesterday the home runs were unbelievable. I wouldn't necessarily play any of these today for home runs. But if I had to, it would be Altuve because he's just on fire. But I'm probably going to refrain from a player prop parlay because I just had the worst luck with them. I might just select a few of these, if not all of them, for over 1.5 total bases, or I'm not sure yet. I'll put it in the pinned comments, but here's 4 for you guys to do your own research and build your own parlays or, your own player props. So we had a successful day yesterday, hitting 5 of 6. Let's go 4 of 4. Can all 4 of these guys at least get a hit? That's the measuring stick that we will be going by. So there you go. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.